Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Operation Finale. I had seen nothing about this film heading in. I was able to attend a really early screening of this film, and honestly, I hadn't really seen anything about it. I didn't know anything going in. I looked at the posters, I saw that Oscar Isaac was in it, and I was on board. And overall, I think it is a very solid film that falls short of loftier hopes and expectations. So let's go ahead and start off with the positive. It tells the real life true story of the trial of Adolf Eichmann, who was responsible for a lot of death and carnage and misery when it comes to the Holocaust. And it was a very interesting story, and one that honestly does need to be told. It is an important piece of history, and one that should get a big screen adaptation. I think the directing also was very solid in the film. It unfolds in such a way that you're on the edge of your seat. You're completely enthralled, in particular in that third act, just kind of like glued to the movie screen. Part of it is very formulaic, what you're anticipating to go down, but it's really well constructed in a way that builds the tension, builds the anticipation, and has you fully involved in what it is you're watching. However, those are my only two outright positives. All of my other ones either have a but attached or they fall more middle of the ground, where they're not a positive or a negative, but I need to comment on them. First, I need to talk about this cast, because if we're speaking purely on acting, the cast is fantastic. Oscar Isaac is so good in this film, as he is. It's very predictable that Oscar Isaac is going to turn in a great performance. And in particular, at the end of this film, we get a quiet scene with him in which he conveys so much. And I think he really sold to the moment in what could have felt like a cheesy, like over the top, kind of moment. Instead, it was because of Oscar Isaac's performance that it hit home. It was genuine and it felt authentic. Melanie Laurent in this film was also really good. She has a very small role, but I believed her in her role as well. The son in this film was really good. Haley Lou Richardson is really pleasant and wonderful and charming, as she usually is, also in a very limited role. And then we get to Ben Kingsley, who also is fantastic. Once again, it is very predictable that he would be fantastic, but he did such a good job making you sympathize with such a horrendous person, and then would hint at the glimpses of darkness underneath, hint at the sinister that lied underneath that veneer. And I thought he just did that expertly well. However, with pretty much all the names I mentioned there, I think from the get-go they're miscast. Not because of their acting ability, because they shined in the roles, but in no way, shape, or form do I believe Ben Kingsley as a Nazi. It is almost baffling that he would be cast as a top-ranking Nazi at that. You don't look at Ben Kingsley and think anything Aryan, to be honest, and you question if he would even have a bit of white blood in him if you were to just look at him on the street. So he seems much more likely to get shot down in the street than to be the one doing the torturing. Oscar Isaac is a little bit more believable as someone from Jerusalem. But then we have Melanie Laurent, who is in this film. She sounds very French in the film, and she just comes across very French in the film, but is also of Jewish descent in the movie itself. So it just all came down as very strange casting choices. And the strangest one of all was very much Ben Kingsley. I just couldn't quite get over the unbelievability of him as a Nazi. And then I want to touch on the look of the film, because this also went back and forth between really like washed out, bland TV style lighting to great cinematography to just beautiful shots, really well done shooting in here, really well done camera angles that helped build in that suspense. It was a weird mixture of really well done film work and then really like poor film work decisions. But I do also have just outright negatives, and the most glaring one for me in particular was the script. I don't think this was a very good script. So many of the lines were like, oh my gosh, did they actually write that into this film? Every now and then a chuckle would definitely elicit, and of course the actual story unfolding was really well done, but the dialogue, so much of what was coming out of the characters' mouths was just ridiculous. The scenes with Ben Kingsley's character were all really actually well written. I think all of his dialogue was great, and whoever he was playing off of, usually those scenes were written well, and in particular his moments with Oscar Isaac I think were well written, and then the great acting that was on display certainly elevated the material, but so much of it was just not good. And I also didn't like the score, like, really at all, I have to say. The score felt like it needed to feel. It had the beats of, like, the thriller score that they're trying to get. It had the da-da-da-da-da-da-da type feel and urgency to put you on the edge of your seat. But it was just so bland. It would throw some dissonance in, it would throw some chord structures in that were like, okay, uneasy. But it never clicked with me. It felt like somebody doing what they're supposed to do, but not really adding on to that, and having the score playing so loud and forefront was a distraction. So overall, this is a very important film with actors that do a fantastic job at selling this material, but were kind of miscast from conception. It's a film that has an important, thrilling story to tell, but is never able to elevate it to the theatrical experience that you're hoping it will get to. So overall, my recommendation for Operation Finale is a very strong rental. I think if you rent this film and you watch it at home, you're going to be enthralled. You are really going to enjoy this movie. I just don't know that it's quite well executed enough to warrant that theater ticket price. So that is my review of Operation Finale. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Operation Finale? Have you even heard of this one? And what is your favorite film that revolves around World War II? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!